So who are we? When we first got into the program, we didn't even know each other. We didn't even know our names, so we were literally a total strangers. And well, at first I was pretty worried because a 6-week program running a business with strangers. I never thought it would work out, but it turned out well. But the first problem we had was to start knowing each other, find our mutual interests, to find what we want to do. And that's what, when we first started thinking our mutual interests, this came up.
So that we are all makesurai in Japanese, meaning we hate rules. That was the first common thing we found out. And so then we started off with writing down social programs on post-it, and then we found one problem we almost care.
And that's the lack of exchange between generations. And I don't mean lack of exchange between generations by like kids and seniors. That would be, too much generation gap. What I mean is by students and professional workers, as we call it, shakaijin. It's not a huge gap, but I definitely think that there is a gap between which, communication is needed. And especially for the Japanese university students, there's something called the burnout syndrome, moetsuki shogogen. And it's called, just people spending daily lives wasting time. University students doing baito at night and like literally skipping class the next day because they're just too tired. Like, why are you wasting your time, right? And that's why we wanted to create a day.
So what's our service? So we are targeting the students and professional workers. So our job was to provide place and meaning for both to meet and communicate. So that's why we held an event on Inspire twice. Look at this picture. It was a great place. Yeah, it's actually a 30th floor of town mansion in Hikaru. So we can see the great, beautiful view, and then also even the sky tree. And then we invited to professional workers and then also students. Then we held this party. But at first, we planned to hold a nachos party because all of us love the nachos and tacos. But this thing was not what we concerned most, so we changed the plan and then we held that event.
So as you guys would know, everything's not successful from the beginning. We had our obstacles. Actually, so many obstacles, as she said, like the tacos party. We were gonna, I guess, distribute the Mexican culture. That's what we wanted to do first, but we just, we just had a meeting together. We thought of it. Is that what we really need for, like, the current Japan? But especially for our program, what we decided to do was that shakaijin and the students community Koryukai, and it was easy to get students. It was easy to create meaning for the students to come because all we just had to do was invite shakaijin that would inspire them. But we had to have merits for both guests, meaning we had to have merits for the shakaijin. And this was one of our biggest problems, to create merits for shakaijin. And at first, we contacted shakaijin to, invited them to come, but they all literally just canceled their invitation because they didn't really have a meaning to come. It broke our heart, but we just, had a meeting literally at like 3 a.m. in the morning over Skype, and just stand up again and just thought of what we should do. And that's where this came up. What can we provide for the shakaijin? I mean, we're still students, so we can't really pay them, but we can provide them with new ideas. That's what we came up with. And so we decided for the merits for the shakaijin, we decided to provide a fresh university students ideas so that they would gain, or so they can use something for their business.
So we decided to do the workshop to inspire each other and make things good for both professionals and students. First, students listen to the professional story such as their lives, their dream, or why they started their business. And then, after that, professionals ask the question to the students, and then they discussed each other. After finally, we did free talk and made friendship with each other, and eating sandwiches we had made. What made us happy most was that people who came to the event said they were satisfied and enjoyed. Although we couldn't achieve the 50,000 yen profit. Is that right?
Yeah. So actually our profit was 27,000 yen. So it means we couldn't accomplish the goal of 1,000 yen. So we think there are some points to include. So we think the main points are 3 points. One is marketing, and second is timetable, and third, so one is advertisement. The 1 point marketing is we chose Facebook to connect the students and the professional workers. But however, actually we made an event page and then invite a lot of students and professional workers, but just leave it. So it was not a good marketing. And the second point, timetable. Actually, that day we couldn't start and finish a schedule. And so upon advertisement, actually some people expected to eat and drink more food, but we didn't. So there were some mismatch. So yeah, the 3 points is we need to improve.
So what we learned, we obviously learned from our very valuable experience, and so each of us have had a very good lesson from this, and that's what we want to share next.
What I learned is that balance is the most important thing on the business, and profit and quality, and like what students want to on our event, and what quality we have to provide them. We have to choose which should we care. What I learned is this is the most important one, I guess.
What I learned was to achieve the goal and creating one event, all of the members' power were very necessary and important, because on all the processes such as came up with ideas, marketing, contact professionals, gather students, advertisement, we discussed on Skype at midnight frequently, and divided each roles, and we worked together. So it was a hard work, but we now felt a sense of achievement.
So what I learned the most was that we could hold a party thanks to a lot of people's help. Because when we wanted to look for some Shakaijin, Steve introduced us to Takezawa-san, and Takezawa-san introduced us to some Tsuchiya-san and Sasaki-san. It's so inspiring professional workers. And also when we were in trouble, a lot of staff and some people advised us, and then thanks to this, we could communicate each other, and we could share our passion and what we care the most. So without any support, we couldn't hold the event.
So I guess what I learned through this program was that in business, it's important to continue and keep that sustainability, because I guess especially in Japan, like a lot of the Japanese people want trust from a business or company. They need something that can trust on. So like first event, it's kind of hard to have a lot of guests attending your event, and that's what I really noticed. I thought this was gonna be easy because like I have a lot of friends on Facebook, but when I really invited them, like, what are you doing then? So continuing it and sustaining it is, I guess, the key to success in business, especially in Japan. So when we all have time after their shukatsu is done, obviously, we're gonna keep continuing it, hopefully. So, yep, that would be the end of our presentation. And if you guys have any questions, we're available anytime.
Great job.
Thank you.
So if anybody does have any questions or comments, go ahead and kind of raise your hand.
And advice would be nicer too.
Yeah, advice.
Thanks.
So you pointed out you have a problem with marketing. So what would you do in details, like specific way to improve that marketing strategies?
So what we noticed was it's really important to send out the right information for them to understand, because we know what we're doing, and that's what we thought we wrote on Facebook, but the audience or the attendees couldn't really receive that what we wanted to send out. So I guess choosing out words is important too. And but Facebook was the problem, I guess. Like we invited about like 500 people total, but only about at the most like 25 people came at the event. And I guess people don't really take the good look at the Facebook invitation. I guess that's one of the big problems. And as I said before too, like sending out the right information for them to understand was the key. So if we were gonna do our next event, we'll write in different, words, or we'll make like a promotional video where people can just don't have to take the laziness to read, or like all they can just do is like watch and listen, and that would give a better impact to them.
Yeah, it must be for me. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
Didn't you think about any problems in the pricing? Because
pricing. So what we noticed was that after the event, most of the people were satisfied. So I guess we could raise our price to. We did it in 1500 yen, but the event was pretty successful to the people who came. So I guess we could raise the price to 2000 yen for next time. But it's kind of hard because they don't know how good the event is until they come. So they need to experience it first in order to know the value of the event. So that's one of the problems, how we should go through our marketing, like how to distribute the value of how valuable our event is.
Good. Okay, great job.